Hey YouTubers, you know what time it is. Time for another swamp talk. And today I've had a beautiful hike and I'm in a beautiful area. I've just been relaxing and I was listening to music. My favorite song is Wasted Time by the Eagles from that classic album Hotel California. And I started to think about that, and the gist of that song, Wasted Time, is in a romantic sense. But I was thinking there's so many other ways, like, well, I guess I'll get back to the song for a minute. The song's about, in a relationship that didn't work, and both sides think it was wasted time, but then they look back on it and they realize it wasn't wasted time. But it doesn't always have to be about a relationship. It could be about a situation you're in, a job you're in, um, anything like that. Sometimes we do something and we don't like it. We're not really into it. Um, it's not our thing. It's like something alien to us because it just doesn't fit right or feel right, and we tend to think of that situation that we're in as being wasted time. But as time moves on and we look back, sometimes we realize the time that we thought was wasted time really wasn't wasted time. It was just a learning experience, a growing experience. Whether it's if you're a young person sitting in a class and going, oh, this is wasted time, and that's what you think right there at that moment. But then a year later, you reflect back on what the teacher told you and what the class was all about, and you're like, wow, you know what? I learned some really cool stuff. So I guess sitting in that class when I thought it was wasted time wasn't really wasted time. Or if you're at a job and you're like, God, I hate this job so much, but you move on and you reflect back on that and you kind of embrace, I may not have liked the job, but I really liked the people I worked with, and you realize that it wasn't wasted time. There was valuable memories and lessons learned, and there's so much stuff about that, when we go through things that we think is wasted time at the moment, but then later on we realize, wow, that was a learning experience. That was something that wasn't wasted time, even though you felt at the time it was wasted time. But it was, I'm saying wasted time way too many times, aren't I? But it's true. You really never know the impact of what you're going through while you're going through it. It's when you step away and move on and reflect back on it, and you're like, wow, you know what? That wasn't so bad as I thought it was when I was going through it. And that's why I love that song. The last line is, and maybe we'll realize that it really wasn't wasted time. So think about that whenever you're in a situation where you're not the happiest and you're challenged. You can get through it, and someday you'll look back on it and say it wasn't wasted time. And in a lot of ways, you'll probably look back on it and say it's good medicine, if you're me. And that's my swamp talk for today.